I'm fine. I say it so easily that sometimes I believe it. It's one of the most efficient sentences I know. It smooths the air, it closes the door gently, it makes other people comfortable, it makes the room return to normal. I'm fine can mean anything, which is why it works. It can mean I don't want to talk, it can mean I don't know how to talk. It can mean I'm trying not to break the shape of myself in front of you. It can mean I've already broken and I'm keeping the pieces where no one can hear them moving. Stability is not always a state. Sometimes it is a performance, a set of gestures, a tone of voice, a measured pace. It's answering messages with the right delay. It's laughing at the right moment. It's showing up on time. It's keeping your hands steady even when something inside you keeps shaking. From the outside, it looks like balance. From the inside, it feels like holding your breath for a long time and calling it calm. I used to think stability was something you arrive at, like a shore. A place you reach after enough storms. But lately it feels more like a posture. Something I maintain, something I rehearse. Something I've learned to do so well that even I can't always tell where I end and the act begins. There are small rituals that make it convincing. The way you keep your voice even, the way you keep your face neutral, the way you choose words that don't leak too much, the way you offer short answers that sound complete, the way you turn your life into something tidy enough to be glanced at without disturbing it. Stability as interior design, stability as lighting, stability as a clean surface over something that never stopped moving. Sometimes I think the performance started as a protection, a way to survive without collapsing in public, a way to remain functional, a way to keep the day going when the day doesn't care what you're carrying. But protection has a way of becoming habit, and habit has a way of becoming identity. You start to confuse what you do to endure with what you truly are. I'm fine becomes your signature, your default, your language, and people begin to trust it. They stop asking, they accept the smooth surface, they move on, not because they don't care, but because you've made caring difficult to access. You've trained the world to meet you at the level of your mask. And then the strange thing happens. You begin to meet yourself there too. You start to live at the edge of your own truth. Not lying exactly, just editing, just selecting, just leaving out the parts that might make the air too heavy. You become fluent in omission and you learn to translate pain into something small enough to be socially acceptable. You learn to make the unbearable sound like a minor inconvenience. You learn to say I'm fine with the same tone you use to order coffee. It works until it doesn't. Because there is a cost to performing stability for too long. The body keeps a record. The chest stays tight even when there is no reason. Sleep becomes shallow. Silence becomes loud. You stop feeling your own emotions as they happen and start finding them later, like objects left behind in rooms you barely remember entering. And in the quiet moments, when no one is watching, the act begins to slip. The face relaxes, the posture collapses by a few millimeters, the breath finally arrives. And you realize how much effort it takes to look okay. That's the part people don't see. The labor behind fine, the constant adjustment, the small corrections, the invisible strain of keeping your inner weather from becoming visible. Sometimes I wonder if stability is just exhaustion. Wearing a clean shirt, if I'm not calm but depleted, if the reason I don't fall apart anymore is not because I healed, but because I learned how to numb the impact. And yet I can't pretend the performance is entirely false. There is something real in it. There is a discipline in surviving. There is a kind of dignity in not letting yourself spill everywhere. But dignity can become isolation when it turns into a wall, when it becomes a way of refusing help without ever saying the words, "I'm fine." I say it, and the room moves on. But inside something stays, a small unsaid sentence, a weight that never quite leaves the shoulders, a quiet truth that remains just behind the teeth. Maybe the point isn't to rip the mask off in dramatic confession. Maybe that's not my way. Maybe the real shift is smaller than that. A single moment of honesty, even if it's incomplete. A slight opening, a sentence that isn't polished, a pause that isn't filled. Not because someone deserves an explanation, but because I do. Because there is something lonelier than being unstable. It is being stable in a way that no longer feels alive. It is being fine so consistently that you begin to disappear behind the word. And lately I've started to suspect that the first crack in the performance isn't weakness, it's air.